Some French princes that became old dirty bastards. Spent half their life off their nut getting plastered. 2 decades later after they first met, now chatting shit on your TV set. It's Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty.
The Euros is upon us. Welcome to a special Scotty and Motty. Obviously, I'm Scotty. That's Motty. We're going to take you through some of our predictions about who's going to lift the Euros. Does the trophy have a name?
The trophy? Like the Jules Rimet trophy?
What's that one?
That was the original World Cup, wasn't it? That was the one that... Remember, well...
It's not Rimet. You sound like somebody who drinks down the dog.
What?
Jules Rimet.
What is it? How is it?
Jules Rimet.
I said, how did I say it?
Not in a French accent.
It was Jules Rimet.
There you go. I like the roll on the R's.
Thank you.
Yeah, has this one got a name?
I don't know actually, right? Do you know what?
I'm glad you do your research.
How do you know you was going to start asking me about the bloody trophy? Hey, who cares about that?
People care about it.
Right, what is the Euro? Oh, right, okay. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It has got a name. I will give you.
Yep.
How much is in my wallet? All right.
Dust.
These moths flying out. Oh, real money. I'll give you a tenner.
Yeah, a tenner?
Yeah,
okay.
If you can guess the name, or if you know the name of the trophy.
What language is it in? What is it, French?
I'll tell you what, it's a French-sounding name.
It's a French-sounding name.
I don't know if it is French, though, but it's a French-sounding name.
Je voudrais cup.
How have you done that?
Is it really?
Is it what is it? I want cup.
Yeah, that's a great name for. I would like cup.
Yeah. No, it's Henri Delaunay.
Why are they always French?
I don't know. They were busy. They were big in the game, weren't they?
They were busy.
They were busy, yeah. Making themselves busy, coming up with tournaments and all that. Oh, let's do the World Cup. Oh, let's have a tournament just for countries in Europe. Pathetic. Anyway, the Henri Delaney Trophy is what's on offer.
Okay, cool. And the French are one of the favourites for it. We're going to break down some of the people that some of the teams that we think will lift the trophy. Should we kick off with England? I guess that's probably the best place to go.
Yeah, England, I think, are the bookies' favourites, aren't they?
Are they really?
Yeah, I think they're like sort of joint favourites to lift the trophy. I mean, when I say the bookies, I don't know if that's just English bookies, because lots of people in England do bet on England, don't they? So the bookies don't want to get their pants pulled down. But you can understand why England are one of the favourites. I think, if we're being brutally honest, if you look at several factors, the performance of English teams in Europe over the last sort of few years, I know this season just gone wasn't the best, but City obviously won the Champions League not long ago, albeit with 115 charges hanging over their head. Chelsea not long before that won it. I know these teams have foreign players, but they also have English players as well. Then you've got just genuinely looking at the squad, looking at the team. Harry Kane, Phil Foden, Declan Rice. These are all hugely talented footballers that you say are amongst the best in their positions, arguably. I use the word arguably, in the world. So I can understand why England are favourites. And plus, our performances in tournaments under Gareth Southgate, whether you like him or not, have been pretty good.
Yeah, certainly have. And I think the pressure's really ramped up now. This is either deliver or get down to the dole office.
Do you think this is it now?
For Gareth Southgate,
yeah, I agree.
Has to be. I think he said it similarly himself, is if he doesn't lift anything, then he's been a failure. Along the lines.
Where do you stand with Gareth Southgate, right? Do you think he's come into an era where England have a golden generation? Do you think he's been fortunate with some of the runs that we've had in tournaments? Do you think he's just suited to international management? What do you put these relative successes, because in my lifetime he is the most successful England manager, what do you put that down to?
I put that down to the team as much as his tactical nous, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that he's been revered for it, is creating more of a sort of culture of togetherness, because whilst he's the most successful manager in both our lifetimes for England, I don't think that he's been the best manager during that time in terms of like a Venables or even a Capello or a Sven-Goran Eriksson. I think when they were, that you could see a sort of identity style of football. And what they failed to do, what Gareth Southgate has done, is there was always fractures in them teams, especially when you look at the Scousers and Manx during the sort of late 90s, early 90s and stuff. And that seems to have healed somewhat. My take on England, I think it's a tournament too early. I still think some of these players, you look at Mainu in particular, I think Bellingham's not even, he'll turn 21 during the tournament.
It's mad, that,
yeah, Rice, how old is he, 23?
So I think it's, 24, I think he is,
yeah,
Declan Rice.
Foden's another one that's quite young. So I think that they may push towards the
25, sorry,
25.
Declan Rice is, yeah.
Push towards the later stages of the tournament. But I don't see a real sort of a leader on the field. I know is captain Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Great player, amazing goal scorer, best goal scorer for England. But I just don't see he's the sort of person that gets everybody up and sort of says, "Listen, we need to move on." And
whilst I think you make a good point, I do want to counteract it slightly with the fact that you say it's a tournament too soon. Is there not an argument that this might be the best chance for England because of Harry Kane? Because he's 32, he's an out-and-out goal scorer for England and for his club. And once you look past Harry Kane at the other strikers, they're found wanting. And I don't see anyone, unless I'm missing it, an English striker who's coming up after Kane who you think, well, the next tournament we've got, like you've got Mainu, and you've got Foden, and you've got Bellingham, and you've got all these great midfielders who are sort of, either in the early 20s or in the case of Mainu in the teens. My worry is, if I'm from an England perspective, if England don't win it this tournament, goes to the World Cup in 2 years, Harry Kane is going to be in his mid-30s by then. Is Ollie Watkins stepping up? Ivan Toney will be 30 by the time the World Cup comes around. I think there's a lack of sort of second choice strikers coming up. So I wonder whether this might be the best chance because you've got your Bellinghams, your Fodens, your Trent Alexander-Arnolds, if you've got to throw him in, and you've got your Harry Kane now. Might be the sort of optimum prime.
It's a balance, isn't it, between sort of
where you've
experience
and a player that's still at the top of his game as a striker, and some of these younger players who are getting there before he sort of dips, so he's no good to you.
I completely agree with that point that we rely on Harry Kane for goals, but I think sometimes our style of play relies too much on Harry Kane. I think moving forward to future tournaments, football is moving away from this relying on a traditional number 9. I mean, Manchester United didn't need one all season.
No, you're right. I mean, I know people say Rasmus Højlund, but look at the cup final. We had a false 9. We didn't even start with one.
I mean, but this problem with goal scorers, we'll touch on some of the other teams in a minute. If you look at Italy, who won it last, they haven't been going through their number 9. They haven't got to go an out goal scorer that that they're relying on. I think Spain, likewise.
Spain did what was it like the sort of? It was almost like a 4-6-0 formation, wasn't it, at one point for Spain, if you remember back in the day.
I think what England might do going forward post Harry Kane is it'll be more of a collective of goal scorers rather than trying to go through route one, which I think may benefit them more because they have got a hell of a lot of talent there. My only worry with England is, like I said, a leader on the pitch in terms of sort of rallying the troops if it's not going well, and defensively I just think they're weak when it comes to sort of Pickford. I'm not a massive fan of him, and I think Harry Maguire not going out. Whilst he had a good season for Manchester United, and it's a shame for him personally, but he plays well for England.
He was in it for his team in the tournament the last Euros. He was player of the match against Germany last Euros. I remember he missed the first couple of games of injuries, and people saying, "Oh, Tyrone Mings has stepped up." I thought, if you think Tyrone Mings is as good as Harry Maguire, I've got some magic beans to sell you. There's not a patch on him. So I agree with everything you said. We're going to do our top 3 teams to look out for. Would you put England in there?
For me, I don't think they will.
No, I'll put them in for me. I don't think they're not my favourites. I don't think England will win the Euros, but I think there's 3 teams that I'm going to pick that I think would, and England are one of them. Not for you. With the start of the European Championships, no doubt we'll all be watching dozens of games featuring the world's best players and teams fighting it out for Europe's ultimate international trophy. If you're watching from outside the UK, or you might be due to go away on your holidays, many games are subject to regional broadcasting rights, making it difficult to enjoy the games you want to watch if you're in a different country. Well, fear not, because Surfshark have got you covered. Surfshark VPN allows users to connect to servers in different countries, effectively bypassing these geo-restrictions and allowing you to watch football matches on different channels and streaming services from anywhere in the world. Surfshark VPN provides users with access to servers in numerous countries. This means that football fans can easily switch their virtual location to countries where matches are freely available or where broadcasting rights are less restricted. We all want to watch the games live. Well, thanks to Surfshark VPN, we can, no matter which country we're in. Whether you're on your holidays, whether you're watching from abroad, no matter where you are, with Surfshark VPN, you can watch the Euros. Surfshark VPN also encrypts your internet connection, ensuring that your online activities, including streaming matches during the Euros remain private and secure. We all need that bit of security, and Surfshark gives you that. This is very useful if you're accessing streaming sites from public Wi-Fi networks where security risks may be higher. You might not even want to watch the Euros. You might want to break from the football and decide to watch the latest Netflix show. Baby Reindeer is one we've all been watching and debating on this channel. We've also been getting into true crime stories and true crime documentaries on Netflix. I love a true crime documentary on Netflix, and thanks to Surfshark VPN, no matter where I am in the world, I'm able to access Netflix and watch them. By connecting to optimized servers provided by Surfshark VPN, users may experience faster streaming speeds and reduce buffering, so you're not waiting ages to see if that last-minute winner actually did go in. There's nothing worse, is there, when you're watching a game and you think, oh, this is it, this is a crucial moment in the game, it's the last minute, or there's a penalty, is he going to score? And then your screen starts buffering. It is incredibly frustrating. Well, thanks to Surfshark VPN, you don't need to worry about that. Overall, Surfshark VPN offers football fans the flexibility, security, and accessibility they need to watch the Euros from anywhere in the world, making it the best choice for streaming content. England may end up disappointing us this summer, but Surfshark definitely won't. Use the code SAM24, Scotty and Motty, SAM24. There's a link in the description to this video and get an extra 4 months free. Who else do you want to talk about?
Go France.
France, I think if we're going to say, you know, the other favourite other than England, then you definitely look at France. Obviously, got to the World Cup final, one of the best World Cup finals ever, I think. And in Kylian Mbappe, they've probably got the best player in the tournament. Or it's debatable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no one else springs to mind as being an obvious choice for being the best player in the tournament. I think he's probably the poster boy for the Euros. You might argue that Phil Foden's had a better season. You might argue Jude Bellingham's had a better season. But in terms of actual ability and delivering as well on that world stage,
he's a rock star, isn't he, for a footballer? Do you know what I mean? Them names like Foden, and I think Bellingham is coming to his own at Real Madrid, but he still doesn't, you know, have the sort of star power yet of a Kylian Mbappe. It'll be interesting with France, though. I think that they're quite susceptible at the back. And I was amazed that N'Golo Kante is actually still playing football, and he's come from Saudi Arabia and he's going to be, you know, back in the Les Blues.
I know. I love N'Golo Kante.
Oh, amazing. He's only 33, you know.
Best players ever. I really do, and I don't say that lightly. I wonder whether he'll feature much. I mean, I look at their midfield. They've got Tchouaméni, they've got Camavinga. Rabiot does well for them. And I wonder whether someone like Kante, he's an option also. He seems like a really likeable guy, maybe, because we know the French squad.
The French love a kick-off.
They love a kick-off,
They love a civil war, don't they?
You've had it like where the
was
players...
it South Africa?
There was a South Africa one where I think some of the managers ready to go home. There was the other World Cup, I think the World Cup before that, where they got to the final where the players took over from the manager and told him, we're picking the team, you just shut up and do as you're told.
Reminds me of my school football.
Honestly, no one does a meltdown like the French do. So maybe him in there as just a bit of a calmer head, a likeable guy. I don't know, I'm speculating. But you're looking at their... I think in terms of their team, you'd argue they're probably the strongest. I get what you point about defensively. They've got defenders who, for me, on their day, are outstanding, but have one in them.
Yeah.
Ibrahim Konate, can be class, and he can be someone who you think you can get some.
They're great ball players, defenders, but as in terms of the defensibility.
Upamecano, I watched Upamecano. I think it was last season for Bayern Munich against PSG. He was man of the match. And then against Manchester City, home and away, he looked like he'd won a competition to play for Bayern Munich. He was shocking. He was at fault for about 5 goals. I think they only scored 4. I was like, how is that the same player that was outstanding? So he's got him. Also, William Saliba, who for me is one of the best defenders in the Premier League, which, if you're being honest, probably makes you one of the best defenders in the world. He's not always favoured, is he? He doesn't always get in, which seems amazing to me. France, then, do you fancy them?
Yeah, I think they're out and out favourites in my opinion.
Yeah, and I look at some of these players.
Just every position they've got they've
got an outstanding Camavinga is class. Kylian Mbappe we've already mentioned. They have got good defenders. Let's not kid ourselves. So yeah, I'd be surprised if France weren't there or thereabouts. It's not going to be easy for them.
What's their group?
Let's have a look at the Euros groups. That's actually
It should be on the
on the document.
The document that I created for you.
Yeah, sorry. So they're in Group D. So they've got Austria, the Netherlands, and Poland.
So you'd say the Netherlands is probably their difficult game there.
Yeah, but it's a doable group, that, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And also the Netherlands, I think Frenkie de Jong's not going. He's out, and that's a big miss for them as well. So yeah, I'd fancy their chances. Who else you want to talk about?
Who else have got in there?
Germany. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, Germany. It's always interesting for the host nation and how they're going to do. Will they sort of falter under the pressure, or will they rise to the occasion? And with Germany, they've got a Nagelsmann, haven't they? As a manager.
You love Nagelsmann.
I do. I love Nagelsmann. I like a manager that skateboards. He does, but he's only a young manager, and I don't think that he's been there too long in the job. I think this is going to be Tony Cruz's last kick of a football in professional career, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it could be a romantic swan song for Tony Cruz. I'm not too sure. What's Germany's groups looking like?
Germany's group. I mean, it's doable. Excuse me. Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland.
Right. So they should absolutely walk through that with respect to Scotland, and they kick off the tournament on Friday night.
Yeah.
The Germans have it in them as well to sort of fold like a deck chair, though, don't they? Like in previous tournaments,
It's weird. I think that the German side has lost its lustre a little bit. Because when we were growing up,
post Brazil, I think that they've sort of
Germany were
the one,
weren't they?
Yeah.
Like you look, they were always there or thereabouts. You know, they won it in 1990, they won the Euros in '96, they got to the final of the World Cup in 2002, they got to the semis in 2006 when they hosted it. I think they obviously won it in 2014. Was it? Was the last time Germany won the World Cup?
No, that's when we went to. When they annihilated Brazil.
Yeah. And now it feels, I don't know, it feels like they're not quite the force that they were.
No, they miss Image and his balls on the side of it. What's it?
Joshim Lowe.
I don't know, Joaquin Lowe.
Joaquin Lowe, sniffing himself.
I know, yeah.
But you can't count them out, especially being in Germany. So yeah, a decent shout that. One to watch. I mean, it feels weird to say this about Germany, but maybe the dark horses.
Maybe, I think, because nobody's talking about them, are they?
It's weird, that, isn't it? Because normally Germany would be like, well, they're the first team on your list that you think that they're going to do bits. But I don't think anyone's really backing them. I think people are saying, they'll do all right because they're at home, but I don't think anyone's saying they'll win it. But you look at that team. I mean, you've Kimmich, Schlotterbeck, again, the sort of Gundogan, Leroy Sané. They've got some decent players there. I think Emre Can's just come into the squad. Bit of experience there. Kai Havertz, who does well for the German team. I know he's not everyone's flavour of the month, but he's actually had a decent season for Arsenal.
Yeah, and if you look at what you were saying in the intro, they've just had two teams in a semi-final and a final of a Champions League, and there will be a lot of players that are going from Munich and Dortmund.
That's a really good point.
Over.
Really good point. So Germany, a team to would you put them in your top three?
I put them third in my top three.
Okay, fair enough. Should we talk about your favourites?
Yes, go on
Italy.
then. Oh, I thought you were going to say Croatia. Yeah,
Italy.
Yeah.
I think if Italy played England, who do you want to win?
Italy.
Right, sorry, it's a silly question. They're ranked 9th by FIFA. I mean, that doesn't mean a lot. Luciano Spalletti, who seems to have been going forever.
Yes, a bit of a journeyman, isn't he?
Was he at Roma when we battered him 7-1?
He's been at Roma. I think he was been in St. Petersburg as well. He's been around, and obviously the highlight of his career will be lifting Serie A with Napoli, which was an amazing feat in itself.
Serie A is popping off, isn't it? Is it 6 champions in 6 years or something?
Yeah.
It's crazy what's gone on there.
It'll be interesting what happens now with Juventus and Motta taking over. There's rumours of Greenwood, didn't they, going to Juventus? But Spalletti's only been in the job for less than a year now, so it's difficult to sort of get your feet under the table and do what work you want and the sort of direction the football and playing. I was saying before that they've really struggled to score goals. Is it Scamacca, who used to play for West Ham? But he had a great season at Atalanta. I think he scored in every round of the European Conference League. That's right, isn't it?
See, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that you're talking about Italy and talking about competitions like no disrespect to the Conference League. Do you know what I mean? When usually Italian teams have been in and around the Champions League.
Yeah.
It was only that, what was it, a year ago that Inter and AC Milan both got to the semis, didn't they?
Well, they've got good form in the Euros, Italy, though, getting towards the later stage. Obviously, they beat England. And I don't think that was a deserved victory either. I thought England lost that game as much as Italy won it. And the player of the match and the player of the tournament, actually, I think it was Donnarumma, he's come up for a bit of stick leading into these Euros. He's made a couple of howlers. And there was rumours whether Spalletti was going to drop him I think he was returning to the San Siro for a game, and because of what Donnarumma did to AC Milan, man can't go back to Milan. Because he just walked out, didn't he? So now I can smell like the Champs-Élysées and all them dollars, man, euros, and just... So but he's not been playing great. Barella's fit and he's a fantastic... I'd love to see him at Manchester United, but I don't think I ever will. Midfielder, so... Thing is with Italy, it's a difficult group. I think they're in with Spain, Croatia, and who's the fourth?
Albania.
So you'd expect, and they start against Spain. I think that's the hardest group. But once you get out of that group, and we'll talk about Spain in a bit, I think it's an easier pathway towards the final. So it's how you finish in that group. And I think Croatia aren't the force that they used to be. Croatia, like we expect Germany to be, used to be the dark horses. They didn't have a star player, but you should Croatia haven't been beat. Oh, we're playing them.
Yeah, no, you're right. They've always been thereabouts, haven't they, Croatia? Sort of post the noughties. But no, Italy, you can't ever count them out. But it does seem like not quite the sort of the golden era for Italy, is it, by any stretch of the imagination?
They do win merch of the tournament though, because I'm not young enough to wear it, but the new shell suit that they've brought out is outstanding.
The Italian national team, it's always cool as fuck. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Should we talk about my favourites?
Yes, please do.
Portugal. They've obviously, got Cristiano Ronaldo, who's one of the greatest players ever, still scoring. I think he scored a brace the other night, didn't he, for Portugal? He's still scoring goals. I know a lot of people have written him off and said he's basically gone into semi-retirement in Saudi Arabia, but he's still a force. They've also got my favourite player on the planet in Bruno Fernandes, who does well for them as well, and his record in the qualifiers has been phenomenal. They've all got other good players as well. They've got Vitinha and Bernardo Silva, of course, is another player. João Felix. I mean, they've got some decent players, Portugal, and I think there's a reason that, I don't know, I fancy them. I get in the sort of the vibes that you got in sort of 2016 where people just think, it's just Ronaldo. And it's not. You've got a team there. And I think this team, as a team, is probably better than they had in 2016. And I think in terms of like a squad and a team, rather than being so reliant. I know obviously Ronaldo went off injured in the final quite early, but he carried that team quite a lot. I don't think that is the case now. And I think that the way I don't watch loads of Portugal, but when I do watch them, they do seem like they've got their act together, and there's a lot of decent players there. You look at defensively, they got Ruben Diaz. I think Delo's had a very good season as well. Gonzalo Iñárritu is a player we've been linked with. Cancelo. Then you look at that midfield: Palhinha, Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, João Neves. I mean, it's just decent. Pedro Neto's decent. And then up front, you've got Felix, you've got Rafael Leao, Jota, who can get you a goal. I mean, there's options there, isn't there? Do you think that there's a question mark over Ronaldo in terms of what goes on there? Because in the World Cup, they dropped him, didn't they, at one point?
That was amazing. I was surprised. I was surprised there wasn't like death threats for the manager back in Portugal and stuff.
And I wonder if he's not performing, whether they'll do the same.
I think it's similar to Harry Kane. We were talking about England. I think Portugal have got an amazing team behind them, and I think we get blinkered in England because we look at, like I said, the golden generation. I think starting 11 man for man, Portugal's starting 11 is as good as England's. You look at the names that your names there, but it's again, do Portugal play through Cristiano Ronaldo, or is it a collective where Ronaldo's part of a team? I do enjoy watching Bruno Fernandes play for Portugal though, because he seems a lot lighter on his feet, because he's not carrying a team as he has doing at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? He looks so much more nimble, and shackles are off.
You nailed it. I mean, these stats in his qualifying are fucking ridiculous. 10 games played, 844 minutes, so he's averaging 84 minutes a game, so he's just playing all the time like he does at United. 6 goals, 8 assists. I mean, he's a machine.
Yeah.
Like, if you want any, if you ever these idiotic debates about whether Bruno's any good, just watch him in a team that's actually functioning, like you just said there, and see what he's about. And also, just look at his stats throughout his career. And even at United, his stats are like at the top end of anyone's.
Yeah.
The guy is he's different class, Bruno Fernandes.
What's Portugal's group looking like?
Portugal's group is, I mean, it's a tricky one, but it's doable. You've got Czech Republic, you've got Turkey, you've got Georgia. So you'd fancy
They've got to top that group.
Yeah, it's you can't sort of you can't say, oh well, that's the through, but you'd be very surprised if they didn't top that group. I mean, Roberto Martinez here is a manager that he seems like a nice guy. Martinez, doesn't he? He seems like he's someone who can get along with. He smells lovely, by the way.
Does he really?
He's the nicest smelling man I've ever met in my life. Has he got it in him to get to win a tournament?
Is his first tournament as Portuguese manager?
I
think it might.
I'm thinking. Let's have a little.
Yeah, but I don't think he was at the World Cup, was he?
I don't think he was. Let's have a look at Roberto Martinez's stats here. Yeah, 2023 took over. He was in Belgium, for the 2022 World Cup. So yeah, but the thing is,
another interesting what he did with Belgium though is that because when you look at Southgate taking over, doing his England into the golden era, Martinez when he looked over the Belgium team again, that he looked at what Hazard and Lukaku and stuff like that, De Bruyne. That was very much a golden generation with Belgium that sort of flattered to this here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Be interesting to see what Portugal do. I do like watching Portugal, and if England don't win it, then I'd love to see Portugal lift it. Not because of Ronaldo, but just because of Bruno.
And Dalot.
Oh, I love Dalot as well. Yeah. Sorry, how can I forget about Diogo? Had a very good season, and that'd be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it, for him as well?
Yeah.
Because he's been a very good player for both club and country. Let's talk about. Let's have another look here. Who are we gonna go?
The Spanish.
Should we talk about the Spanish? Okay,
yeah.
Then. Yeah.
I thought on the Spanish before they got beat by, it was Morocco, wasn't it, in the World Cup?
I think so.
They're quite a young team, but in the group stages of qualifying for the Euros, they've got the highest possession rate and the highest pass percentage.
Right. Okay.
Not pass percentage. The possession as well as passing,
right.
which is very Spanish, isn't it? That's if we ever talk about Manchester United's DNA, Spain's certainly got one in terms of the tiki-taki football. But it is a young Spain squad. But if you look, they've got Rodri in the middle there, a man who doesn't like to get beat unless it's an FA Cup final.
Is Rodri the best midfielder in the world?
I think he's probably up there, We talk about Fernandes there, but I don't think Fernandes has got the sort of steel that Rodri has. Where would you place him?
I think Rodri's the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah.
I think you look at Manchester City, right?
With and without.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
He got suspended for 3 games last season. They lost all 3.
Yeah.
And Manchester City, not a team you go, they're a one-man team. They've got quality all over the pitch. That's how important it is to them. He is to them. When he was missing, they're like, we don't know what to do here.
He's the middle, whatever you call the middle part of a wheel.
Not the spoke. What is
spindle.
It? The spindle.
Yeah, he's the spindle of a team. But yeah, but around him there's a hell of a lot of young players in that Spanish team. But I was just the game against Morocco, I thought, they're going to wipe the floor with them there. But again, no strikers, and it's how they score their goals, the Spanish this season.
They've got they seem to have okay strikers, don't they? And it's like, you've look. Morata has done quite well in qualifying. 6 games played, 4 goals. That's not to be sniffed at. But when you look at someone like Alvaro Morata, you don't think, oh my gosh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously capable of scoring goals. You look at someone like Ferran Torres, 5 games, 3 goals. Again, very good record. I just feel like these are good strikers rather than Jesus Navas is still in there, 38 years old. Jesus wept. Ayoze Perez is in there. So they've got decent players, players that are capable of getting you a goal. It's whether they gel in it. It's
very similar to the England thing where you were talking about Harry Kane before with the sort of age meeting, sort of up and coming young talent, and even more so with the Spanish team. It may be a tournament too soon for them, but the way to play football, if you're into sort of like your Pep style possession based. Spain definitely offer that. They're probably my dark horses for the tournament if they can get through the group and work out how to put the ball in the back of the net. Is it Yamal, who's 16. For Barcelona? He's going to be the youngest ever international.
Born in 2007.
Wow,
that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's like
I was 21 then.
My oldest was only born 3 years after that.
Hey, get your St. George's shirt on.
Hey, Jesus wept. If I didn't feel old a minute ago, I certainly do now. No, always worth keeping in Spain. You put him in your top 3?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't blame you, to be honest with you. I think it's a pretty good, trait to have that. A pretty good idea to say that you'd expect them to do well. Obviously, they've got a difficult group, Croatia, Italy, and Albania, but you can never count them out. And with someone like Rodri in the middle of the park, they've always got a puncher's chance, haven't they, of beating anyone.
Yeah.
Who else have we got on our little list? We've done Portugal, we've done Italy, we've done Germany, we've done France, and we've done England. I think, is that your lot?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was going to put the Netherlands in, but I think Frankie de Jong out of the Netherlands.
And that's is that a deal breaker for you?
Yeah, I think so. Netherlands are very much the Spurs of. I mean, they have won it before, haven't they, the Euros? But everyone sort of gets the hopes up. I mean, both
1988.
Yeah, both me and you were in the.
That's like my vaguest memory. Yeah. My first ever memory of the Euros was Ruud Gullit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember much else about it. I mean, you're looking at, give him a little mention here. Virgil van Dijk, Nathan Ake, Tyrone Malacia.
Daley Blind.
Yeah, still going. That can't be right. Malacia in the squad. He's not made the squad, has he? I think
Luke Shaw made the squad. How do you know?
It's not. I mean, they've got some good players.
Yeah,
I do feel the weak up front though. I don't rate Depay, mate. I know he's on course to break the record, isn't he?
His stats, he's on course to break the likes of Van Basten's record for most goals scored for his nation. I think it's more personality than ability with Memphis Depay.
Yeah,
especially when he was at Manchester United.
I mean, no disrespect, and I know he scores for him, but Wout Weghorst is a player. I know he's usually on the bench, but he's one of them that's an important player for them, which says a lot to me.
It does, yeah. Well, he was an important player for us and did absolutely now. But your missus would be happy to watch the American Orange.
Well, she other than Belgium's a favourite team. She supports Belgium like fully. Like if England play,
he's
Belgium,
still not playing, is he? Fellaini?
No. She fell in love with Belgium during the Fellaini era, and has stuck with it. And also, she's that thing of as a lot of United fans are. She can't warm to England. She struggles to warm to England because of the treatment that United have had from English fans and England fans and the media and all that sort of stuff. So I get it, but yeah, the whole Wout Weghorst thing is very odd. They've got players as well like Gakpo, who on his day is good, but he's a bit patchy and he's one of them. He can look either mint or terrible. So go on, what was your top 3 then? Recap.
I think my top 3 for the tournament, I think France out and out favourites.
Yep.
I'm probably going to go with. I'll go Spain as outside shot, and just because I have to, I'm going for Italy.
Italy as well, Yeah, fair enough. My top 3 would be, I think Portugal will win it. My second favourites will be France, had the most, original idea. And I'll put my third favourites as England. I think we've got a decent enough squad. We should be challenging, especially with the experience we've got and the fact that under Gareth Southgate we have been to a final and a World Cup quarter-final, World Cup semi-final. It's about time we lifted something, and I think this is probably England's best chance in a long time when we spoke about the mixture of youth and experience you've got. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think about our predictions, about the teams. Have we missed anyone out that you think could be the dark horse for the competition? And a big thanks as well to Surfshark for sponsoring this podcast. Go and check out the link in the description. It's SAM24 is your code and you get 4 months for free. Go and check that out. That's been Scotty. I've been Motty. This has been our Euros preview. Thanks for watching.